I was excited for
Right.
the change. I embraced the change, and it ended up being that spring ended up being one of the best springs in football that I've had.
I'm 100% on board with you. How do you feel the new situation and you combined? How do you feel like you advanced in that situation?
Man, I think I thrived. I've always been a guy that when adversity hit, I head on. Let's go. Like, this is not going to break me. And my freshman year at Tennessee, I actually came to know the Lord, and so when I came to know the Lord and things changed in my identity, and I knew that football wasn't who I was, it was just what I did.
Come on now.
I realized that, this is a blessing. Every day that I get to play football is a blessing. I get the opportunity to do something that could change my future. And so I understood that, but I understood also that the Lord gave me these abilities.
Yes, sir.
And they could be gone at any time.
Yes,
and
sir.
so when this came, the Lord was like, this is an opportunity for you, and I'm putting you on this stage and on this platform, not only for you to see and show people my glory, but for also for you to thrive in this situation. And so I head on, went at it, and the Lord used me in a lot of different ways as to being a leader for that team in a lot of different ways. And so I think that I thrived in that situation, football-wise, spiritually, emotionally, physically, mentally, everything. I thrived after change.
That's awesome, man, because I definitely am a firm believer that the Lord gives us our sports in general. It's a temporary stage for our permanent purpose.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times we think it's our permanent purpose, and it really ain't.
It's not.
Yeah. So you go through your first coach, it's Coach Foreman. The second coach is Coach Kiffin.
Yeah.
Great time.
Yeah.
That's my senior year. I had a great time.
Great time.
Learned some valuable lessons.
Yeah.
Try to learn the most out of the game that I ever learned in my life. Maybe because I was more mature,
Yeah.
and then there was a different style of teaching.
Yeah.
But along came position coach changes.
Yeah.
As far as when you're there at that point stage in your life, you're getting change after change after change after
Yeah.
change. Do you feel that those changes or those things that you went through, a lot of the guys were able to handle them the same way, or do you feel that guys handle change differently?
I think a lot of the guys handle change differently. Because after that spring, when Coach Kiffin was there, and the spring for a new coach is a time to fill out the guys that you like and the guys that you don't like, and the guys that they don't like, they get rid of. You know what I mean? And the guys that they see that aren't gonna conform and do what they've asked, then they just get rid of them, or those guys just weed themselves out. And so I saw a lot of guys that I came in with or that came in under me that didn't make it because it wasn't what they thought. And so they allowed the situation to determine how they would be. And so they went to another place, or they, allowed the coaches to push them out or whatever that may be. And that was hard to watch, because for them, it was like their whole world was shattered. For me, it was like, this is just another opportunity. And so, but I saw a lot of guys that buckled under.
That's real. And
Yeah.
you said something, man. I got this quote I use: never to let your situation determine your operation.
Yeah.
And one thing I feel that you learned, you operated at a different level, and your operation determines your situation versus the opposite way.
Absolutely.
And that way you can't be faced by any of the adversity and change. You see it, you notice it, you hit it, you keep it moving.
And keep it pushing.
Absolutely right. So now, went through that change, and then all of a sudden you got another coaching change.
Man, I can remember, bro. I can remember sitting at the house, and I was with my mom because she was in Knoxville for a little bit, and I saw on the bottom line talking about Jack Del Rio had turned down the USC job. I looked at my mom. I said, Lane's gonna take that job, and she said, no, he's not. He's gonna. Man, soon enough, boom, Lane Kiffin takes job at USC. Then we get a text message talking about we got
Mass
a
team meeting.
You know what I'm saying?
I was in Best Buy with like 5 of the boys.
And I'm like, a team meeting? I was like, we already knew what it was, but the crazier thing was what ensued after the news happened. You know what I'm saying? Like riots on campus, people burning mattresses, like players upset, and rightfully so. We just had a group of recruits that came in early, you know what I mean, early enrolled to play for these dudes. And then seemed like in the middle of the night, boom, gone. And so for me, that was just another opportunity, in the midst of all the people, there were thousands of people outside the complex, waiting for them and all that kind of stuff, and being upset. And then we come out of the team meeting after talking with Coach Kill, and everybody's all upset and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, man, we're still Tennessee.
Come on now.
It doesn't change. Like, Tennessee's not going to change for Lane Kiffin or for whoever that comes in. Tennessee's going to be Tennessee. And I felt like that was my job, my obligation to step up and be the leader for this team.
Because the Lord had prepared you with the first change.
Man.
He had set the stage, showed you how to handle it, and boom, put you in that situation where you can lead. And sure enough, when another one came, I've been here before.
Yeah.
I've been here before. This ain't nothing new.
Yeah, this is nothing new for me. And so it was one of those things I was like, okay, what y'all want to talk about?
That's it.
We're going to keep it pushing.
That's
you
it.
know what I mean? And so that was a really unique time, and people still talk about, man, I remember that interview that you did. I was like, man, that was nothing that nobody else wouldn't have said.
Come on,
what I'm saying? We had a mentality as seniors going into our senior year that was like, it doesn't matter who coaches us.
That's it.
We're going to be together. This is Tennessee, and we're going to do whatever we have to do to make this thing work.
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So that happens, and all of a sudden, you got another coach coming in.
New coach. Man, it was different. Again, just, the coaching styles were so different. You had Coach Fulmer's group that had been together for years, family men, love the Lord, and it was like one of those things, okay, cool. You got that family atmosphere. Coach Kiff comes in, that thing's a whirlwind,
Yes,
like
sir.
complete culture shock. From
complete change
Coach
up.
Fulmer. And then Coach Dooley comes in, and his staff is a little bit of both, and you're kind of like, okay, well, that's a little familiar, and then this is familiar. So it was one of those things that I think we can do this. I think we can make it work and all that kind of stuff. The terminology on defense and stuff was same as, so it didn't change very much.
Yes.
So it was another situation that you can say either the situation is going to determine your operation or the other way around.
Yes. Yeah. What's some of the highlights or the lowlights of that year that you feel helped mold you to who you are when your time was going to come to leave?
Yeah. So even, after the Coach Kiffin stuff, there was a group of us that had a really good junior year, and we were thinking about, leaving and going to the NFL and trying our luck in the NFL, because at that point, I need to maximize on what happened. I had a really good junior year. We were having a coaching change, and you don't know how that's going to go. You don't know how injuries are going to go. So I need to, take advantage of this situation. And what happened was I decided to come back, and so did a group of guys decided to come back outside of, EV.
Yeah.
He was EV. But so we come back, and I'm thinking, this is going to be a good year. I came back to play and to do this, and the year just didn't go how I expected it. I had a little freak knee injury thing that happened like a month before the season. So I had to have knee surgery, probably about 3 or 4 weeks before my senior season starts. That was difficult. Then I came back, I think maybe a little bit too early, so I was a little timid the first couple games, didn't play well. Felt like, I could have been used better in a lot of situations, and so it just didn't start out well for me. And I hit this point where everything that I had been through, I was feeling sorry for myself, that my senior year wasn't going how I wanted it to, and things weren't working out for me how I wanted to, and it was just like the Lord kind of woke me up and said, this is not determining who you are. Do not allow your play on the field to determine who I've called you to be. And so it really, literally mid-season, it flipped for me. We went back to the crib and played Memphis, and had 3 sacks there. Should have had 6. Malik took 2 of them from me. Somebody else took 1. But and it was almost like that mindset came back. Man, don't allow situation to determine your operation.
Yes.
So it turned out better. You know what I'm saying? The last 5-6 games of the year, as a team, we decided that we were going to make a bowl game.
Yeah.
We were going to win out. We had played a hellacious schedule, playing number 2 team in Oregon at home, and losing to those guys, played Florida, lost to those guys, and then went on the road at LSU, at Georgia, lost both of those, lost LSU on a heartbreaker. So the next week to Georgia, lose at Georgia. Then we come back home and have Alabama.
Yes.
And then we go to South Carolina, who all were ranked in the top 12 in the country.
Yes.
And so it's like, man.
Yeah.
So we lost all those games, and people were, this team, this team, that. But the heart inside the team, the core inside the team was like, we're not going like this. And so we won the last 5 games to be able to be bowl eligible. So didn't start out how we wanted it, but it ended gave us an opportunity to end the way we wanted it.
I think that's a lesson that the game teaches, but also a game that life teaches, because it's never really how you start, but it's how you finish.
How you finish, always. And that's what we did. We started really poorly, and we finished in a way that made our program and our senior year respectable.
Yes.
We could have tanked it and we could have gone, 3 and whatever.
Yes.
But we decided that we wanted to change that, and we wanted to make some plays and play better as a team to make us more eligible.
And I believe you said something when it came back and resonated with you. The Lord just cleared it up that it was bigger than you.
Yeah.
Because you got on the woe is me for a minute,
Yeah.
and he had to go, hey, sleep, this bigger than you.
Yeah.
And
This ain't
once
you.
you realized it was bigger than you, it allowed you to come out and share with the team. Look, guys,
This is
Yeah.
bigger than us.
us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that it was like a mindset shift.
That's it.
For a lot of us that, this was not about us. It wasn't about me coming back to Tennessee for my senior year. What the Lord I got to see through what the Lord was doing was multiple teammates come to know him.
Come on now.
And so the Lord was like, this is why I brought you back. I
He was
didn't bring
working.
you back to,
Exactly.
to get no sacks. I didn't bring you back so that you could play well and people talk about how good you are. I brought you back so you can see that my goodness transcends all circumstances.
Come on now.
And so it was different, but it was absolutely purposeful and incredible for me to go through that.
Absolutely right. It was absolutely purposeful.
Yeah.
Always moves us strategic.
Yeah, always. And everything that I talk about to people is everything is purposeful.
Come on now.
Absolutely necessary for what you have to go through, where you want to get
Yeah.
to. There's no wasted time. There's
No.
no wasted moments. All those moments are things that you can grow from and learn from.
That's it. That's Coach Troop. Every moment is a learning moment.
Yeah.
You're getting better or you're getting worse, and everything's designed to help mold you and shape
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely.
So now you're at the end of your senior year, and is there still a shot? This dream, this goal, this end all be all. Is there still a shot for you?
Yeah, there's still a shot, man, and there's still a little bit inside me that wanted to go for it. If I'm honest, there was a lot of me that was just tired, man. I'd had 3 knee surgeries on my left knee in my 4 years at Tennessee, and I just got worn down with the sport. I was an undersized defensive end, so I'm going up against guys that are literally 100 pounds heavier than me, and so my body was just breaking down. But I knew that my goal was to go to the NFL.
Yeah.
And I knew that if I didn't try that, if I didn't go for it, that I would regret it.
Yes,
and
sir.
so there's still that opportunity. Got an agent, signed with an agent, went down to Atlanta to train, with all the guys and train with some cool people down there, and started the process of living my dream out.
Yeah.
So
So you're going through the process, living the dream. That day comes where names are going to get called, guys are going to get called, guys are going to sign, guys are going to get drafted.
yeah.
What did that end up looking like for you?
I didn't get drafted, and so that was, to me, that kind of hurt me a little bit because every kid dreams of hearing their name called.
You're absolutely
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
You're right.
Everybody dreams of somebody saying, with the whatever pick and the so-and-so, they select Chris Walker. And that was a dream of mine, you know what I'm saying? And for that not to happen, I was like, man, maybe I don't need to do this.
Right.
Maybe I don't. And I kept saying, like, if you don't do it, if you don't try, you'll regret it.
Absolutely right.
And then another piece of adversity hits, man. The lockout happened.
Yes.
And so if you didn't get drafted, you can't hear from teams until after the lockout is over.
Yes.
So they can only talk to the guys that they drafted. They can draft them, talk to them, then they can't have any more communication with them. So all the guys that didn't get drafted, we're sitting in limbo waiting for the lockout to be over. And that was difficult as well.
Man, roller coaster after roller coaster.
Man.
So, the lockout happens. When it's all said and done, do you end up hearing from teams? Do you not? Do you get a chance to get your workout in? How did they end up unfolding for you?
Yeah, so I'd heard from, during the draft, I'd heard from a bunch of teams that, said, hey, what's going to be your situation? If you don't get drafted, we're interested in bringing you out and all that kind of stuff. And after the lockout, the team that contacted me was the Baltimore Ravens. And so I had a lot of respect for the Ravens and their defense. Because, man, you got guys like Terrell Suggs and those guys, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed.
Yes.
You just
Animals.
got animals on the defensive side, and they were a staple in the NFL for defense. And so I was very, very excited. I got a call, and, the coach said, do you want to be a Baltimore Raven? And I was like, let's roll.
Yeah.
Let's roll. So that was the start of a dream come true for me.
That works. So the dream come true. It actually did come true, but once you got there,
Yeah.
how did everything go from there?
Yeah. So it was funny, man. I remember my boy Nick Gervais. We went to the same church in college, and I remember before we both left to go train, he went to Nashville and I was going to Atlanta, we prayed and we said, Lord, like if this is what you want, open the door and allow us to walk through it. But if this is not what you want, close the door so abruptly that we know only you did it. And I tell people, be careful what you pray for.
Because he answered.
Man,
Woo.
he answers it.
You might not like the answer.